Rambo. Rambo Last Blood. I guess that means it's going to be the last one in the series. I guess we'll see. It's like a lot of these guys are coming out with old movies again. We got Terminator, we got Fast and the Furious, we've got Rambo, we've got Rocky. But some of these movies are pretty good. The Rockies were good, Creed was good, Fast and Furious definitely something I'm liking. That's good. But Rambo, I'll just tell you right now, it's not very good. Not at all. Let me tell you the story though. So it's about Rambo, and he gets hooked up with another family. I guess it's that family that he meets with at the end of Rambo, Part 4, the one that came out about 10 years ago. And it does say that. It says it's been 10 years since, well, I'm sorry, it says that it's been 10 years whenever he's met that girl. And so the girl is kind of like his niece, I think. She calls him Uncle John. And I don't think they're really related, but I think they just got hooked up then. But she wants to find her father, and so she goes to Mexico and gets kidnapped. And then Rambo has to go and get her. So that's the gist of the story. But let's talk about what's good in this movie. So the good is that it really does draw emotion from you, because you can feel the pain that Rambo and the girl's aunt feel about her being kidnapped, and you can actually feel what she's going through. Doesn't show anything because she gets kidnapped and put into like a sex trade, but man, you can feel it. It's really heartfelt, and it's sad. It's a sad thing that happens. So they draw the emotion in that aspect, so you get really connected to these people. You get really connected to them. Another good thing is the Spanish. So they're in, I think, Arizona, real close to the border. When they go to Mexico and come across, her grandma and all the people in Mexico speak Spanish. So tries to keep it real. Rambo, I guess, from the 10 years that he's been around him, has learned Spanish, but he doesn't use it very much. But it makes the movie a little bit more authentic. And then the next good thing I would say is just the action. So if you're going to watch a Rambo movie these days, then that's what you're going to get. You're going to get action, you're going to get blood, you're going to get kills, you're going to get just crazy, over-the-top type kill scenes. That's kind of what Rambo is about. It's sad, though, that it didn't go from what we normally, or I guess not really normally, but what we originally saw from Rambo First Blood, where he is actually just a character that has such strong relatability, because he's in Vietnam coming back with PTSD, sorry, and he's looking at the world with a different lens. But now, which they try to do in this one, they kind of show him going through the tunnels, doing flashbacks to being in the war at that time, but it just didn't hold as much weight as the original did. They really just turned the whole arc of his story from being a broken, hurt, psychologically broken soldier to a dude that just wants to go around and murder folks. But he does it for a good reason, to save his family, right? Now the bad about this movie is, dude, it's super gory. So if you're not into gore, don't even check this out. It's got a lot of blood, broken bones, and stuff like that. It's got decapitation and explosions. So there's a lot going on in this movie in that realm. Also, I really didn't think that it was acted so well. I thought some of the scenes, especially the close-ups, just wasn't my camera type angle. And then when they zoomed up that close, I didn't get the emotion in the face that you would normally do whenever you zoom in on someone. I watched Ad Astra right after this, and I thought, from watching Rambo, I was like, man, I hate those scenes. But they did the same thing in Ad Astra, but it was like Brad Pitt just had so much emotion in his eyes. Literally in his eyes. But this movie didn't have that, so it kind of just ruined it for me in that aspect. But if you're coming to this movie, you're not coming in for the acting, you're coming in for the action. Another thing I thought was bad about this movie was just the over-the-topness. Now, I like the scene at the end where they start doing these crazy, off-the-wall type kills. He booby traps like a big old cellar, not a cellar, but tunnels underneath his property, and then draws them in there and starts doing these crazy kills, like got explosive shotgun shells that blow people away. He's got all these things that hang and drop whenever you trip the wire, and guts them, and then he comes behind them and shoots them, and so he does some cool stuff there. But the part I hated was he said, "I'm gonna rip your heart out," because he was like telling them that he had ripped his heart out whenever whatever happens to the girl, I want to give it away. And then at the end, he just does some crazy, over the top, insane, never would ever be real in any type of situation, and not even in the movie. And I just like busted out laughing. I just like, dude, this is so insane. This is incredibly ridiculous. And I just couldn't stop laughing, man. It was weird because right after they did that, they went to like some solemn scene, and then they like kind of whisked it and wrote it, and I couldn't even feel it because I was just so utterly laughing, just so utterly like wigged out about the situation that they put in the movie. I was like, what? Did they really do this? And I mean, I didn't even get to finish seeing it because I was laughing, I was crying. My wife was like, "Dude, are you okay?" Because she was like, "Why are you laughing?" I was like, "Dude, because it's so ridiculous. I can't believe this would happen, man." I didn't even get to see it. I even thought he just like bit it. I was like, I had to ask my wife, what happened, man? Did he bite that thing? Because it was ridiculous, man. It like literally that one part took me out of the whole movie. Because when I got to that part where the end, where I was talking about they do all them booby traps and stuff, I was like, oh wow, okay, maybe people like this movie because of this. But nah, I got too ridiculous. So I'm gonna literally give the movie a 1 out of 5 R's. Yeah, it was that bad. That bad. I don't recommend you watch it. I don't recommend you go rent it. It's just not even worth the time. So is it redeemable? Now there is stuff in the movie that you can get, that you can learn from. There is the fact that as kids or as young people that we don't know everything, you know. Like we need to be listening to the adults in our lives because they understand the situation around us. We don't really see the trouble that we can get into in the places that we go, and it's best to listen. One thing I've learned is that as I get older, it's like my parents get smarter, they get wiser. But I really think it's not that they get wiser, it's just I understand their wisdom now. Another thing is, it's just kind of like a father story. A lot of these stories, it seems like I've been watching, are about fathers being absent. And this movie is like that. And you can see the pain that it causes a person to not have a father in their life. But not only that, but to see that there is a greater father character, but they just can't get over the loss of the one father to see the other. And that has implications as well. I may do a Christian perspective on that. But in saying all of those things, I just can't say this movie is redeemable because the movie is just bad in itself. It's not even a good movie. So, there you go. Hey, I appreciate you guys for watching. And if this is your first time checking us out, I'm Paul. I usually have my wife here, Grace, and as a team we do Rideout reviews. So, if you like what you saw, or if you want to check out more, check us out. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, as well as the bell, and you'll get notified whenever we come out with new videos. And we come out with them on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and sometimes we sprinkle a little bit extra, so just always be watching. I'll see you guys next time, and keep watching movies.